bring her right in. Y'all saw her on the intro, right? We brought a female to the team, which we always need a female on the team to give us some more diversity and a different thought process on different subjects. And also, she has some things that she wants to talk about. She's been on the show before, one with Chief Rogers. That's a great episode. I think that was the first one we did with two chiefs. That was a good episode. We brought her on, and you know what? I'll just wait till she get on to tell it. Yeah. Basically, the craziest place that we did an interview with somebody, she takes the candle for that one. But we'll bring her on right now, ladies and gentlemen. Chief Master Sergeant Jessica, the nice player. How you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing good. How y'all doing?
We usually have clapping noises and stuff like that. Yeah. I'm good.
Welcome to the team.
I'm proud to be a member of the team. I, grew up a little bit here. I made a post. I think the airman was asking me like, hey, how would you sum up your military career? And I did it by the movies, and like they were like shocked. Yeah, like Columbus, Mississippi, the lady was like BAPS. I said, why you playing? Some of y'all walk around here like BAPS 2.0 right
now. I'm mad at the opportunity I missed. It's an internal thing. Yeah, we did, but I'm being honest.
We already had this conversation, so I'm gonna let Jess get her opinion on it because you already know how I feel about it. You already know how.
Well, y'all have carried me through from Keesler Air Force Base to Dyess, and I will tell you, like I was like you. I had use or lose from Keesler going to Dyess, but babe, I got to Dyess, and I was like, they talk about resiliency and coping. Like, I'm sorry, like I was like, why are you running yourself into the ground? Like I don't want to look like Tales from the Crypt when I retire. And I was like, you know what? It was here before me. It's going to be here after me. So I'm like, I need to take leave.
Yeah, I know. I recognize Big Chief Player. She mentored Yakota, and she was mentored. Yep, Yakota.
Mention.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mention Yakota. She was the ALS instructor, hands down the best in the game. Glad to see you. How does that make you feel when you see stuff like that?
I saw Chief Sonya Mayo, and it's ironic now because now I'm a Black female FSS chief, and I think about her so much. But she was like, look, gal, you talk pretty good. Can you interview for the Airman Leadership School position? I was like, I got a letter reprimand, do you still want me to interview? She was like, yeah, we'll handle it. Mm-hmm. So like, it was a guy that was also going up for the job. And then he was like, yo, you better know that Airman's Creed. I kid you not. I learned that Airman's Creed in one day. Got in front of the panel, and then the rest is history. Like, they helped me got rid of my letter of reprimand, and then I got in PME in 2013, and I left right when I made chief. And it's been by far one of the blessings that I've had, because people look at me, they be like, yo, like, you like a real life Tyrese. You were a tech sergeant, now you're a chief. That's what I was telling my airmen. I'm like, I tested for everything except for chief. And they were like, how did you do it? I had my uncle. He was like, you need to stop. He was like, read that book front to back one good time. And he was like, you love spending my money and other folks' money. And I did. So he was like, how do you remember it? So I started like corny stuff. I was like, Operation Just Cause Panama is Operation JC Penney. Y'all know,
you what you gotta do.
So I was like, bring your own drink. So that was Benjamin O. Davis. The pen would be, doctrine is the linchpin of military operations. Like, I was in there rapping, and I'll never forget my test. The test administrator, Mr. Marvin Dowdell, he's in Montgomery still. He was like, girl, you was over there sketching on that paper. And I was like, left, right, left for the side that you're supposed to walk on when you're walking with an officer. And then somebody got that wrong. But and I was listening to the Women's Symposium this week, and I forgot the young lady's name, but I took a picture of her. And she said, the Air Force wants servant leadership, but they really want you to have serpent leadership. And I was like, yo, she ain't lying about that. Like, you want me to be a snake conniving, and I just can't do that. Like, it's just not in my DNA, and I've never done it. I mean, I am a chief that got a letter of admonishment, but it'll be on display at my retirement. But I just believe in speaking up, because what's the worst that's going to happen? Nothing.
Yeah.
But when I tell you, like, I had a person that is experienced and ready to go into CSS, they're just a senior airman. they argued me down because they were like, well, we want an NCO. Hey, do you want or do you need? Do you need someone to effectively run your CSS, or do you need someone to supervise? So I have gotten better because, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2016. So after I learned like it is triggered by stress, like I'm very particular like in how I conduct like relationships. I have established boundaries, and sometimes people take it as if like, I'm standoffish. It's not that I'm standoffish, but I'm always questioning myself like, if I do this, is this added value to me? Like my significant other is also my peer. So we're constantly, we have those government phones and we have our personal phones. But when we're together or it's after a certain time, like we both cut off work at 6 o'clock, like unless it is an emergency, like there's just certain things that you have to learn to establish those healthy boundaries. And like you made fun of me for the most. I'll never forget. I think I was online with you, Chief DC, and I was in the nail shop. I was like, yo, like I truly believe in self-care Sundays. Like that self-care Sunday, I'm gonna eat me a good brunch. I'm gonna put my mask on my face. Like I'm gonna go get these dogs done, these nails done. And I hate to say this, but when you have experienced life or significant events in your life, it builds your mental toughness. And, sometimes we don't take a step back to be like, hey, what could I have done better or different in situations that don't always go good? But like you said, even with the people that we keep in our circle, I'm like you, Mike, I need people that's going to counter me. Because, in my other life, I can be a prosecutor. Like I can act like a leader sometimes and go back and forth, but sometimes I'm like, I'm not going to go back and forth with you. But I do need those type of people to be like, yo, Jessica, pump your brakes. I don't think you need to do this right now. My circle will tell you. So my circle is from a retired tech, all the way up to a retiree. And my circle is so diverse because like my retirees, he constantly calls me, like we have our chat like every week just to remind me like, hey, what was your goal? What do we think about when you first came in? Education, take care of other people, but do your time. And, I think when I did make rank, I'll say like when senior came so quick, I started to let other people get in my head to be like, oh, you could be a command chief. You could be chief master sergeant of the Air Force. And, for a minute, you'd be sitting back there and you'd be like, maybe I can. But then deep down, after I started to sit with myself, I was like, yo, you got me messed up. I'll be on the cover of the Air Force Times with a meme of Nene Leak. Like, I know me. So it's like, I need to be mindful. And I think a lot of people have to look at it from that perspective. Like I keep a notebook, and in that notebook, it's like quotes and goals too, just to make sure. But my circle, and even here sometimes I have to tell people like, if I'm not in your unit and we were cool from way back when, guess what? You still my girl, you still my dude. And we're gonna enjoy and live in the moment to create moments. But I think that's the only thing I have changed is like learn to live in the moment. Stop trying to capture everything on the camera. Because we didn't grow up with that. I'll admit, like, I just posted my pictures from my birthday. And so this is me. Whenever I'm visiting somewhere or traveling, like I don't like to post while I'm there because I'm trying to enjoy. And like I felt bad because people were like, oh, enjoy New York, blah, blah, blah. Even my coworkers, they were like, hey, ma'am, are you at work? Are you in New York? And I'm just like, I'm in damn room 242. Like,
don't worry about like,
I don't want to feel overwhelmed or over obligated when that's my time. So I think it's an avenue of being heard too. So like I can honestly admit, I think for us when we came in, we had people that actually cared about helping us mature as just young men and women. You have so many people that will put it on Facebook or Instagram because they're not feeling heard by the people that's in their work environment. And I can attest to that, There are times where it's not that you're looking for the right answer, but you're looking for different perspectives. And I think that's what the social media has done for individuals in the military, because sometimes depending on how you were raised, you're also combating the way that you were raised when you first come into the military. And I always tell people that, because you have to be mindful that a lot of us come from strong upbringings where just because you tell me that doesn't mean like it's true. And I do have a saying, like I tell the people in my unit, like if it ain't on paper, it's vapor. And they laugh, but I'm like, it's for real, because words have meaning. And even when we read the AFI, it'll say like shall or will or should. Those words are interpreted by so many people in so many different ways. But I think the influence that I've just seen from people, period, it could be positive and negative. I remember Tech Sergeant Love, like that situation right there just spiraled out of control, like in a matter of 30 minutes. And I remember it was like on the weekend, it just from the EO community, we were all going back and forth, you know, in our chats, like, hey, do you see this? Like, is it real? But that's the power of social media. And obviously this young lady is no longer in the military, but it's just not like it used to be back in the day. Look, I spoke to the mind because he had me dying. He was like, people keep hitting me up talking about you be quoting 2 Chainz. I said, and I do. I said, I don't know it's everybody's problem. I said, I go to the mosque on Friday, I'll chill out on Saturday, and I'll turn around and go to church on Sunday. Like, what is the problem?
Yeah. Do what makes you happy. We gotta do what makes us happy. You know what I'm saying?
It's been in a long time, and I'm gonna say that it makes me very proud, or makes me proud every time I see you winning. Oh, that's what's up. Hey, what's up, Babs? That's what's up. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's awesome.
But sometimes, you know, that's all I want to see is us thrive. And I'm not just talking about us as Black from the Black culture, but I just think sometimes those of us that haven't had like good people to pull us in, like I'm working with a young lady right now who, and it breaks my heart because, you know, she's still a first-term airman daughter. She's a single mom, but her daughter was born with a skin disease. And the baby, like, is African-American, but lost her pigmentation due to this flare up with her skin. She couldn't even drink normal milk. And what happened was the young lady ended up being in inpatient treatment. And when the EPR season came around, she got a referral instead of non-rated. You know, are we positioning ourselves to read? Like I tell people all the time, like I may joke about it and say Reading Rainbow was free on the public broadcasting station for a reason. But people do not like to read or go outside of themselves to help somebody else. And that's the biggest thing. It's like it takes time, energy, and effort. But my airmen, my people are like, well, you know what? We know you busy. And I'd be like, yo, if you only knew what my life looked like after work. And, you know, it's intentional because I have lost people. I think we all have lost people that are close to us. But I stay at 5 o'clock intentionally because it just helps me remember, hey, this is the end of the day when the national anthem plays. Like I just remember those people that are no longer here with us. And it's just, I just wish sometimes that level of commitment was with other people. Like you said, erase trying to get ahead, because when you forget about trying to get ahead, that's when it comes. And I tell people, you know, you want to be a chief, but do you really want to be a chief? Because it ain't for the faint of heart. Like if you want to be a position, that's one thing. But if you're really trying to be a real chief, that takes time. It takes energy. It takes you being a facilitator of resources for other people. It takes you networking. It takes you trying to look at a disease, not just the symptoms of people's issues. And I think a lot of people just get stuck on that. Like, let me fix this symptom. But I'm like, it is a disease sometimes with our people. And this only reason I found out about this young lady's problem is because she had financial issues. And I'm just like, had I not found that out, I probably wouldn't have known about all the other layers that she had been dealing with. Or because you have so many people who have these goals that they want to achieve. But my question is, at what cost? And that's why I said, do you really want to be a chief? Because if you really want to be a chief, and I ask people, a chief is a person, in my eyes, that you're going to find a way. You're going to find a way to make sure that the mission gets done, but not at all costs. So you're going to find a way to make sure that this person issues is addressed, but not at all costs. So that's what I constantly look at. Like, can I suck up my personal, insecurities and help this person get to where they need to be? And that's what I focus with. Like, I had got heartburn one time, and I told my significant other this. I was sitting on a panel, and then the person was like, hey, I look at the Chiefs group like a sorority or a fraternity. And because I am a member, I was like, look, I have to honestly disagree with you. I said, I've walked into rooms with my peers, and sometimes it was like, oh, let me look at that chest and let me look at the name. Oh, if a star's not on that chest, you're a little peon. Oh, where do you work? Are you a squadron SEL or you're a group chief? And for me, that has been my experience. But when I went, I can wear my letters in the airport. I can see a AKA from across the way, a Zeta, like Sigma Gamma Rho, and they gonna be like, hey, how you doing? You can't pay that in this environment. So that's why I look at it the way I do. And I wish that type of camaraderie was there. Like, we lost it. And when we lost it, honestly, is when we start putting so much emphasis on promotion. And that's why I try to encourage people. Like, the Air Force just wants you to think about, like, the Price is Right, the yodeler. Like, you're supposed to be constantly growing. I can't tell people enough. Like, I am a mom of 4 kids. I didn't do that senior enlisted joint PME. I didn't do that professional management cert, but I was willing to sacrifice that. And I still was able to make it under 20 years. But again, like, what are you willing to sacrifice? And I had to get on my daughter, like you said, like, had I, let them move with me, this would have been 3 high schools for her in 4 years. And I said, the secret to sacrifice is that one person is always in a position of unhappiness. And I said, I was unhappy being away from you. But I said, I'm so happy that you, like I said, you were in the 6th grade when we made it to Alabama, and you get to graduate with the same people. I said, that is what brings me joy. That is what brings me happiness, is that you didn't have to be at my retirement next year and I had to apologize to you. I'm apologizing for myself because all I wanted was stability.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like, as a chief, like, there's sacrifice. And again, you have to be able to pivot, like, which one is more important for you at this time.